Hi guys, and today I've got for you the Suzuki Swift. Now you're probably thinking, hasn't he already reviewed the new Suzuki Swift? Well, I have, but this one is slightly different. This is the AllGrip all-wheel drive. Yep, slightly heavier, but it's got the convenience of all four wheels doing the work when you need them to do so. And we might experience that a bit later on in this review. In the meantime, I'm not going to do the usual stuff because we've already done a full review of it. So refer to my other review, which I'll put the link above, below, whatever. But it's about the same, you know, the only difference really is the fuel tank. Otherwise it's pretty much the same. Nonetheless, let's have a quick walk around and then get in the car and take it for a drive.
A brown car guy. Brown car guy.
So one thing that you will notice is that it does have a higher ride height, and this is the real giveaway because of the four-wheel drive system that it's got on it. The four-wheel drive system is basically a viscous coupling, and it basically takes on the role of a center differential, that if the front wheels start to experience any slippage, then essentially what it does is it transfers the drive to the back wheels, and that's essentially how it operates as an all-wheel drive. It's only 65 kilograms heavier than the two-wheel drive, and CO2 emissions are only slightly higher. The fuel tank capacity is only 2 liters less. That's where the extra space goes. But the boot space, I think, is about the same. And as you can see, not a lot of difference. It's about as usable and spacious as you'd expect it to be, and as I recall from the previous Swift I drove. Interior is not bad at all, and it's not the most comfortable for my 6'1.5" frame and long legs, but I can squeeze in there. I wouldn't want to spend a lot of time sitting behind myself. Right, so let's give this a little drive. Actually, I have already been driving it, as you can imagine. I've been driving a lot of motorways, and we're onto some nice bits now. So I thought, you know, this would be a good time to start talking to you about the car. And, you know, the wonderful thing about this car, as with the Swift that I reviewed before, manual gearbox. It's a mild hybrid system, but manual gearbox, you can still have manual, proper manual gearbox, 3 pedals, an actual handbrake on this thing. This feels about as old school as it's possible to get with a brand new car. You know, there isn't anything else that actually will feel as old school as this, but actually be brand new. And brand new in the sense that it is refined, it is quiet, it's got all the tech, a climate control, you know, rear view camera, all the rest of it. Everything that you need, that you expect from a modern car is right there. Plus refinement. It's actually very quiet. It's interesting because here, you see, at low speed, you can hear the gruffness of the engine, which is kind of nice, you know, because you can do that and you can get some revs and it's quite nice. But when you get up to speed and go into a higher gear, it's actually very quiet and very refined. The ride again is very good, and the previous car is also very good. I'm guessing it's just slightly stiffer on this one, or it certainly feels a little bit more. But you know, I mean, with the added, you know, four-wheel drive system, that's probably what's causing it. Having said that, you're thinking about the weight, and it's like, well, it's less than a person, 65 kilograms, so it's less than carrying a passenger. So it shouldn't make a huge amount of difference, you know, to your performance. And the performance is, you know, it's enough. You know, it's not blistering, it's not shocking, it's not anything like that, but it's enough, you know, and you get to work through the gears. There you go, we're going uphill now, so let's go into a lower gear, into third, and off we go, sort of thing. You know, the gear change is very sweet, you know, it's very smooth, you'll never miss a gear or anything like that, and you even get a little indicator on the monitor here. Talking about the instrument panel here on the front, again, old school. Analog dials, analog rev counter, analog speedometer. There isn't even, I mean, there probably is actually. If I scroll through the settings, there probably is a digital speedometer. But you know, is there info? I don't know. I mean, I'd have to stop and go through it. But otherwise, you've just got the analog speedometer, and that's what you've got to do. Look at this. This is fantastic. We're up in Cardiff. And we're up in the mountains of Cardiff, clearly, as you can see. So it's a splendid place to be trying out this new Suzuki. But yeah, the idea is that it's a Swift, but it's got the facility of having that all-wheel drive. The question is there benefit to that all-wheel drive? Well, I guess we might find out in a bit. Like in any small car, visibility all around is great, it's not a problem. You know, you can, from where you're sitting, you look over your shoulders, you look around, you can see the front and the back of the car. But like I said, it has got reversing cameras as well. Seating position,
In 300
very good.
yards, turn left.
Okay, seating position is very good. I have moved the seat a smidge back even more since I've been in it. So, and the steering is also rake and reach adjustable, so that's quite handy. It's got voice commands and all these systems on the steering. It's got, you know, active cruise, well, I think it's got lane keep assist and all this, you know. But I have moved the seat back a smidge, so that's eaten into the space a little bit more, yet still. It's all right, I suppose, you know, again, from the front passenger, it's no problem. But I am on the taller side with long legs, so you have to keep that in mind. Look at that. 6,000 RPM is when it hits the limiter, but it sounds quite nice, gruff, you know, reasonably torquey for a little motor like this, to pull itself along. You know, it's not too bad, but yeah, you get a nice bit of sound. But then when you get up to speed and you get into the higher gears, it actually settles down to the point where you can barely hear it. So it's quite interesting. So again, you know, there's that element of, you know, they've engineered a kind of fun aspect to this car, which kind of satisfies maybe the drivers amongst us. There's still like a little bit of visceral engagement from the car. Controls are very light. So the pedals are very light, the clutch is very light, it's very easy to engage and stuff like that. Sometimes it's a little bit too light, you know. Steering also is very light, but it's got enough of a heft to it, enough of a little bit of a weight to it. But it's also, it's fairly responsive. It's what you'd expect from a small car. You know, not the darty, really sharp thing. It's not like super sporty or anything, but you know, it's satisfying enough. And the brakes are actually very linear, and they make, you know, they're just as you would expect them to do. Not bitey, actually, so you do have to like really put your foot down on them if you want like hard braking. Yeah, because there's a little initial sponginess, and then you get to the biting point. But other than that, it's fine, not an issue. So as mentioned, I have been driving it on the motorway quite a bit as well to get to where we're going to, and it's, again, for a small car, it does really well. You know, not much moving around, not much buffeting or anything like that. It's pretty steady, pretty solid, cruises very nicely. I didn't use the cruise control. I'm not a fan of cruise control. If it was a longer journey, I might have used cruise control, but you know, I'm sure it's fine. You have got actually active cruise control on it, so again, you know, it's very well equipped for what it is. All the specs, prices and everything, I think I've put on the screen already, so you'll be able to see them there. But generally, yeah, so it's fine. So good in town, good for longer distances. What's not to like? So it does actually, like I said, you know, once you figure out the information bar, it even tells you the hybrid system. And if I scroll through it, so it does give you a miles per hour digital readout, your sat nav, lane keep assist, 50 miles per gallon. That's incredible. I mean, I know it's, you know, on paper 13 point something seconds to 60 sounds slow, but it's not. It feels frisky enough, you know. Just trying to show you that whilst we were waiting to get on the move again. But that was pretty much all the systems that were on there. Also shows you real-time fuel economy, how long you've been driving, etc, etc. Obviously a clock as well. Interestingly, you also got front motion, and you got torque and power bars. It also shows you these as well. So there's a variety of stuff that it shows you. So we're just heading up into Suzuki have arranged a sort of quarry area, and I think we're going to get to run this on a bit of a gravel track or something like that. Let's see. Hope you're enjoying this video. Make sure to hit like, share and subscribe if you're not already doing so, and support independent automotive journalism channels like mine. You can do that at patreon.com, coffee.com, or taking out a subscription right here on YouTube. Or you know what, better still, you can go and buy my books. I've got 3 books out now. They're all on Amazon. They're all available to buy. More details on this are in the description, but buying any of these books will certainly help. Thanks so much for watching. Right, so we're here at the quarry, as I said, and yeah, we're going to take the little Suzuki Swift off-roading. We're just going to get the cars mucky. That's what we're going to do. But there are some other cars here, some Vitara and stuff, so I may have a go in those as well later on. But let's finish the road test on this one first, shall we? So basically just a little bit of rough tracking at the moment, you know, just on a little bit of a hill. Again, you know, you'd expect even a normal car to be able to do this, so and this is a normal car, I suppose. Oh, here we go. We're going at an angle now. So it's a slight, I say, what is this, maybe 20 30 degrees angle, probably something like that. 35 degrees. Now we're in some water. Here we are, basically getting our wheels wet now. The thing about this car though, and Suzuki's in general, and, you know, Suzuki's are sold around the world, and in parts of the world where they're sold, you know, they tend to have to do this sort of stuff anyway, you know, because there's not always roads and tarmacs in places where Suzuki's are quite popular. So this isn't really a surprise that it should be able to do this, but this of course benefits from the AllGrip all-wheel drive system. I can't say that I'm feeling it working at the moment, to be honest with you. You know, quite frankly, so far it would have been able to do all of this as a regular front-wheel drive. However, the advantage that we would have with this car is it slightly increased ground clearance, so that certainly helps. And the thing about this car is first gear is very usable. You know, unlike a lot of cars where first gear you run out of it very quickly. But in this one, I mean, okay, you know, we're only doing, you know, what is it, 10 miles an hour, if that. But nonetheless, the fact that, you know, I can lift off, I can use the accelerator, and, you know, it's not a problem for the first gear, that's pretty unique, I think, in some senses. Because I've just left it in first gear and it's absolutely fine. Now here's where you might sort of sense, but no, not really. I mean, I'm going through this water, and yeah, I mean, no, I mean, there's no loss of grip. There was no loss of traction at all, you know. And it's not like, I don't think necessarily that, you know, unless it's like, it's so subtle that you don't even know when the torque is being sent to the back. But it's quite extraordinary. In the sense that you're not really sensing that there's anything going on with the transmission. It's just very smoothly doing whatever it is that it's doing. But no, there was no indication that there'd be any slippage or any loss of traction whatsoever. So there you go. There's a review of the Suzuki Swift AllGrip. You know, I mean, for the money, honestly, it's incredible. All the kit that you get, everything that you get on the car, you know, for daily, everyday use, you've got all the mod cons, everything you want, but you have this old school fun where you get to change gears, you got the handbrake and stuff like that, and then you've got the added knowledge and assurance of knowing that you have all-wheel drive when you need it. You know, and that, I think, just adds a little bit extra to that. And I think that, you know, for the little bit extra money that you may have to pay for it, considering how, you know, sometimes we do have flooding and stuff like that, that extra bit of ground clearance actually could be quite good to have. So there you go. Let me know what you think of the car in the comments below, and I'll catch you all in the next review. Shout out time, guys. Thank you so much. Hey, if you enjoy my content, why not get involved? Buy me a coffee. You can do that at either of these links, or if you're watching on YouTube, buy me a thanks or take out a membership. It all helps. It really does.